Hey guys, it's John with ReelBlue Custom Rods, and today we're going to talk about how to install a nylon smooth butt like this one right here. Couple interesting things about the nylon smooth butt. Mostly you're going to see this in your saltwater builds. It is smooth on the inside all the way through. However, you can see in the first third it's slightly flared here, and then it gets narrow back here towards the bottom again. The upper third where it's flared would be your upper portion of your of the handle. So that's the part you want it to be up, not down. And then the next thing you want to know is on the inside diameter. The inside is slightly smaller at the top up here than the bottom. The bottom is slightly larger. So there's kind of a trick I use for doing an install on my rod blanks. So the first thing that I want to do, I've already had this measured out. I've got a couple marks on here. I've got my gimbal marked where I want that to go on here. You see by that white mark down there. So what I want to do, I want to go ahead and actually let me make a mark where this handle will finish at. I'm just making a rough mark, and that's just for tape purposes for arbors. That's all that's for right there. So the first thing I want to do is I want to go ahead and prep my surface, and I'm going to use that with my 3M pad. So I'm just going to go ahead and rub this whole thing, and I'm actually going to go up past my little white mark right here. I'm actually going to go up past that because that's where the reel seat will be at. And so I just want to make sure I go past that. So when I put the handle on, I'm not trying to go, once the handle's on there, I've already gone up a bit past where the handle will be and where the reel seat will start at. And then I can finish doing some more roughing up the surface with that when I do the reel seat install. And then the next thing I do is I just take a little piece of shop towel with a little bit of isopropyl alcohol, and I just come back and I wipe that residue off like that. And then you can see the difference here and how it's shiny and then how it gets really matte. I've done a video on that before, but again, just in case you haven't seen that. And then the next thing I want to do, I want to come out and I'm going to lay out my arbors. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a couple pieces of tape. And what I don't want to do, since I have this white mark down here, and again, this is where my gimbal will be at. And then I'll have my nylon butt come down there to the end. And I've got these trim bands. So what I don't want to do is I don't want my tape to go all the way to the end. I want to come in on the inside a little bit when I put my tape. Part of the reason why is when I put my arbor on, if I did it all the way to the end, when I go to put these, trim rings that come with the nylon smooth butt, I won't be able to slide it in if the tape comes all the way to the end. So that's why I like to kind of offset mine a little bit, come in. And then the same thing down here at the other end where I made a little tape mark. And again, just double checking. Yep, just double checking. So I'll come in on the inside on that. Put a piece of tape there. And then I'll come back here in the middle and put a piece of tape. So again, the 3 tape marks here are just where I'm going to go ahead and build up my my tape arbors for this. The reason why I'm only using 3 tape arbors is I want to maximize contact between the nylon smooth butt, the 2-part paste that I'm using, the Pro paste, and the rod blank. I want to maximize the contact between those two surfaces with that Pro Paste. That will help me ensure that I have a good tight seal, good bond, and the rod will not fail, years down the road. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and build up these arbors. I'm going to start from the bottom, and again, you'll see why here, but I'm going to start from the bottom and building up these arbors, and then I'm going to go back and make sure that everything fits right. All right, so I have the first arbor built. It's a little too tight for my comfort, so I'm just going to go ahead and back it off a little bit. I'll move that tape over here to this second arbor. Yep. And so I'm good with that. And then I'm just going to repeat that all the way down. Now we do the last one down here. All right, so I have all three arbors built, and as you can see, it slides over a little snug, nice and neat. But there's something that I want to point out to you. Yes, that we've got the arbors, and because I slid it from the bottom, because I checked from the bottom to make sure that these arbors fit all the way, right? And there's a reason why I'm doing it from the bottom in the beginning, is because that the top inside diameter is smaller than the rear inside diameter. So first, I do the arbors, and I make sure that the handle, the nylon smooth butt, will slide on all three arbors, especially the front arbor, nice and snug. But because the rear diameter is larger, that means that there is gaps between the tape arbor in the back and the handle. So now all I want to do is slide that forward a little bit. Then I'm going to come back with my tape. Now remember, I made that pretty tight to slide over. So now I'm just coming back with my tape, and then you'll see I still have a little bit of play, that inside diameter of the rear of that nylon smooth butt is still larger. So I'm just adding some more tape. All right, perfect. Okay. So now what I want to do is go ahead and slide that off from the front, because I cannot slide that off from the rear. And then I want to go ahead and mix my Pro Paste. All right. As you guys know, I like the Pro Paste. A little bit of Part A. All right, come back with some Part B. Again, equal parts. It looks about right, I think. And I'll just mix these up for a few minutes, make sure I get a good mixture. All right, and then now what I'm going to do is just go ahead and start adding that to this blank. I'm not doing the end down there because where the gimbal is going to be at, because I like to, on this particular rod that I'm building, I like to put the gimbals on at the very, very end. The reason why I do that is that gives me part of the rod, or that allows me to use part of the rod blank itself. And when I'm putting the rod on the dryer, when we're doing our epoxy and stuff. And that way I'm just using the back end of the blank, maybe with a little bit of tape to keep it from slipping or moving around, but instead of using the gimbal. All right, so just applying this liberally. Coming up here to the front. All right. I'm just making sure I get much of that epoxy as I can. All right, so now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start sliding this nylon smooth butt over, and I'm just going to turn it. And remember, this in diameter is going to be larger than the inside, or than the tape diameter of the arbors until I get down to the end. And then I like to spin it and just kind of back it off. Make sure I'm coating the entire inside. There we go. And I'll do this for a few minutes, making sure that I get this pro paste to cover the entire inside of this handle. And then as I get down here towards the end, I can see my mark. I'm going to come back. And all I'm doing is cleaning up the nylon smooth butt, taking that extra pro paste off. And then making sure I clean out the inside. So I'm just taking the towel and I'm making sure I get the extra pro paste out of the inside right here on the corner, because that's where that trim ring is going to go. And I got to make sure I have all that pro paste out so the trim ring will get a nice good seal on it and be able to slide in there. If I let that pro paste dry without cleaning it out, when I go to slide this trim ring in, it won't slide in and click all the way if I don't get that excess pro paste out of there and then it dries. All right. So I've got that out. I've got this trim ring where I want it. I'm just going to give a check with my gimbal. Yep. So I think we're good. And then the next thing that I want to make sure you guys are aware of is that the nylon smooth butt comes with this line right here on either side of it where they put the two parts together. So you can see kind of this line right here. And so what I like to do is you can have that line lined up with your parabolic bend mark. If you mark your where the parabolic bend is on your blanks when you're doing your installs or your builds, or you can have those lines run on the sides of your parabolic bend. It just depends on how you want it to look. So it's personal preference. So that's how you install a nylon smooth butt. I hope this video helps. If you liked it, please hit the like button. And feel free to share it with somebody that you think will find the video useful as well. And as always, thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting ReelBlue Custom Rods. I really appreciate it. Again, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed, and turn on notifications. That way you're notified every time I release a video on Mondays and Thursdays. Yeah, and again, I hope it helps. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care, guys.